So for these exercises, you're going to need a chair, your resistance band, and you may need a towel or a jumper that's rolled up. You need a drink of water just to keep yourself hydrated throughout the exercises. So the first exercise we're going to go through is a sit to stand. So sitting in your chair, you're going to sit nice and tall. You're going to come to the front third of the chair. You have your hands on your knees or hands on your hips, wherever you feel comfortable. And from here, we're just going to push through the heels. We're going to bring ourselves into a standing position and then sit ourselves back down. And then we're going to repeat the movement. So we've just got one more. Okay, so that was our sit to stand exercise. So our next exercise, we're going to do a seated leg extension. So for this exercise, all we're going to do is again sit nice and tall, one leg at a time. Just going to lift our leg up to a height that's comfortable, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then drop our leg back down. And then we're going to repeat on the opposite side. Okay, so that was our seated leg extension. So for our next exercise, we're going to come into a standing position. So you can use your chair here for support if you need it. So hold it onto the chair if you need to. You're going to take the outside leg, you're going to take a step forwards, you're going to bend that knee, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then step back. And then we're going to repeat the action. So step forwards, and come back. So when we do this, we'll try and keep our backs nice and tall. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So I'm just going to come to the opposite side of the chair. So again, holding on for support if you need to, taking the outside leg. We're going to take a step forwards, bend that knee slightly, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then step back. So we're just going to keep repeating the movement. Okay, so that was our partial lunge exercise. So our next exercise is the standing rear leg lift. So again, I'm just going to turn my chair side on so that you can see. So you can use your chair for support if you need it again. So standing nice and tall, one leg at a time. We're just going to take one leg back as far as comfortable. Bring that leg back in. And then you're going to repeat the movement. And then we're just going to repeat it on the opposite leg. that was our standing rear leg lift. So for the next exercises, you're going to need your chair and we're going to stay seated. Okay, so our next exercise is our seated hip abduction exercise. So keeping your feet together, you can have your hands wherever you feel comfortable. All we're going to do from here is we're just going to push our knees out to a comfortable position, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then bring the legs back in. And again, we're just going to repeat this movement. So that was the seated hip abduction. So for our next exercise, which is the seated hip adduction, which is the opposite way, we're going to need our towel or our jumper, which is rolled up. So with your towel, your rolled up towel, you're just going to place it in between the knees. Again, putting your hands wherever you feel comfortable. From here, we're just going to squeeze our knees together, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then release. And then again, we're just going to repeat the movement. So squeeze the knees together, hold it for a couple of seconds, and then release. So that was our seated hip abduction. So you don't need your towel or your jumper, so you can put that down to one side now. So our next exercise is our seated calf raise. So keeping the feet hip width apart, all we're going to do, we're just going to lift our heels up off the floor and then push them back down. Lift the heels up, push them back down. So we're just going to keep repeating this movement. So that was the seated calf raise. So for our last exercise, which is the resistance band leg press, we're going to need our resistance band. So with your band, you're going to place the foot under the band, hold it onto the handles. You're going to bring the handles up towards your hips. Keeping the handles there, we're going to bring our knee up, and then we're going to press it down to the floor. Okay, so we're going to repeat this on the opposite side. So again, place the band under your foot, bring the band up towards your hips, bring the knee up, and then press forwards towards the floor. Got one more, and then carefully release the band. Okay, so that's all our lower body exercises for the level 1. So after the last exercise, you might just want to do our cool down video just to keep the blood flowing and stretch off as well.